is only one picture.
Oh, okay. Then anyways, just share it.
Okay.
Hmm. By the way, I have taken some questions, but first of all, I'm going to take up your doubt. Okay. Then we're going to continue. Okay. Halima, have you shared it?
Not yet.
Okay, share it. Or just tell me the question. Meanwhile, tell me the question as well.
Yes.
Hmm. Just read the
Um,
question. Hmm.
yeah. Explain the characteristics of living beings with respect to respiration, stimuli, and movement. Sir,
With
it is saying
with
that
Hmm.
characteristics of living beings with respect to respiration of plants and animals.
Okay, with respect to respiration of plants and animals. Okay.
Yeah.
So
And stimuli also and movement.
okay. Characteristics of living organisms. Okay. With respect to respiration in living organisms. Respiration in plants and animals, you say it, right?
Yeah.
Plants
Hmm.
and animals. Okay. Further, we also have to discuss about stimuli
Stimuli and movement
and movement. Okay.
in both plants and animals.
In both plants and animals. All right.
Yeah.
That too in the case of plants and animals. Okay. So question is, we have to explain about the characteristics of living organisms with respect to respiration in plants and animals. Okay. First of all, we know about the characteristics of living organisms. How we can
Yeah.
distinguish, like they are made up of cells, they will do reproduction, right?
Yeah.
They will take in food and use that food to obtain energy to carry out different functions, right?
Yeah.
Further, they will show movement. They will move from one
Yeah.
place to another, or in the case of plant, they will move in their grow in their size, their height will
Yeah.
increase. Okay. They will respond to their environment, right now. They will respond to the environment. Basically, they will respond to their stimuli. Now, I have received something. Yeah. Okay, that is
Yes.
the thing. Okay. Question number 1. Explain the characteristics of living beings with respect to respiration, stimuli, and that is what
Movement.
movement it is written. Okay. Okay, so adaptation is also one common feature in the living organisms. They will adapt to their
Yeah.
adapt to their surrounding. Getting it now? In particular, here we have to discuss about respiration. So what do we know about respiration? Respiration, what do you understand by respiration?
Respiration means breathing, like they breathe, how they breathe.
Okay.
Like plant breathe in carbon dioxide. No wait, yeah, carbon dioxide and gives out for oxygen.
Okay. See, basically the respiration as we have defined here, basically what respiration is that it will include the process of breathing along with using the oxygen to break down the food and release energy from it.
Yeah.
So there are two things when we talk about respiration. So respiration, it is the process of using oxygen to break down food and obtain the
So
energy.
can I write this?
Yeah, you can write down these things. Okay, no? So it's the process that includes the that talks about the act of breathing in and then using that oxygen to break down the food to obtain energy from it. Getting it up. That is one thing. So
Yeah.
respiration is defined as a process where the cells of the organism would be obtaining energy by breaking down the food with the help of oxygen?
Sir, it is the process of
Using oxygen to
okay.
break down food and obtain the energy. It is the process of using oxygen to break down food and obtain the energy. Getting it?
Yeah.
Okay, no? Further, we see
Yeah.
that respiration takes place inside the cells. It takes place inside the cells where the food is broken down to release energy. To release energy. That is the case. And the question was that you have to explain about the characteristics of living organism with respect to respiration in plants and animals.
Yeah.
So first of all, we have learned about what is respiration, and respiration is the one of the common characteristics of all living organisms. So
Yeah.
respiration is a common characteristics of all the living organisms, whether it be plant, whether it be animal, or whether it be microorganisms. All of them would be performing respiration. Getting it now?
Yeah.
So it has two things in it. First is breathing, the act of breathing in which you will be taking in air. Next is the chemical process that occurs inside the cell where the oxygen which the organism has taken will be used to break down the food. So via our nose, for example, we humans will be taking in air via our nose, basically our respiratory organs like the lungs, the nasal passage, the windpipe, all of it will be participating in breathing in air and exhaling the air. Further, that air will be used up by the cells to break down the food to obtain energy from it. That is what respiration is. Getting it? Further, the way how plants will be taking in oxygen and the way how to say the way how the plants will be doing breathing and animals will be doing breathing are different from each other. Do plants have nose? Do plants have lungs? No.
No, sir.
Getting it? So we say that
Sir, plants breathe in by the stomata
exactly,
present
you know,
in the
they are tiny pores present on the surfaces of the plants.
green. Yeah.
Hmm, that is the case. So further, we have to write that respiration is a common characteristic of all
All the living
living organisms.
organisms.
All living organisms. Right now, that involves the the taking of oxygen and
वो ठंडा है.
liberating carbon dioxide. So it's a common characteristics of all living organisms that involves the taking of oxygen and liberating carbon dioxide and breaking down the food using oxygen to obtain energy. That is one thing. Further, when we look at in the case of the plants, how does the respiration occurs? Getting it? So plants will be using the small tiny pores present in their leaves, that is stomata, to
That is
breathe in.
called the stomata. Yeah.
Exactly. So they will be taking in carbon dioxide and they release oxygen through the process of photosynthesis, as we know. Further, plants will be taking using the oxygen for the purpose of respiration as well. Getting it now? So in the case of the plants, these are the tiny pores present on the surfaces of the leaves. These are the stomata, and stomata has tiny pores that is called as, what do we call the pores present in it? They're called as stomatal pores. Getting it, Halima? Stomatal pores. So plants via the stomata take in carbon dioxide and release Oxygen.
Oxygen, and which
And
is
release,
helpful for us.
exactly, and release oxygen, right now. And the plants will be using up this oxygen for the purpose of respiration. Getting it now?
Yeah.
So this is the way how plants will do respiration from the stomata. Will
Yes.
do respiration from the stomata. That is the case. Hope this should be clear to you. Okay.
Yes, sir. Sir, can you wait for some time?
Yeah, sure. I'm going to wait so that you can write it. Okay, now that is one thing. Now, not only the tiny pores are present on the leaves now, but tiny pores are present on other parts of the plant also. Like respiration not only occurs in the leaves, it occurs in the roots also, it occurs in the stems also, right? Getting it now? Now you know that why this stomatal pore, why this structure. Halima, you there in the class?
Yes, sir. I'm.
Yeah. So see, in the process of photosynthesis, plants are taking carbon dioxide and releasing oxygen. So some of the oxygen plant will be releasing back into the air. Try to understand this concept. Some of the oxygen will be released back into the air. Some of them will be used by the plant to carry respiration, because for respiration, for the breakdown of the food, which gas is required?
Carbon dioxide. I mean,
Mhm.
oxygen.
Oxygen is required now to break down the food.
Yeah.
Okay. Now why the same stomatal pore plants can take in oxygen also from the air? You know that oxygen will also enter the plant through the stomata. Getting it now?
Yes.
So oxygen will enter. And what we know in the process of respiration, what we know about the process of respiration in this, what happens? The food is broken down with the help of oxygen. In the process
Hmm.
of doing so, energy is released, plus
Which
water
is,
is released,
yeah,
plus carbon dioxide is also
carbon
released.
dioxide.
Exactly. So this carbon dioxide gas will be released from the stomata back into the air. Getting my point?
Yeah.
Carbon dioxide will be
Dioxide.
released. So that is the way how respiration occurs in the plants. Right now, I only gave you the example of the leaves, but the respiration occurs in the roots also, no?
Roots also.
Getting it? In the roots also it occurs. So the roots also have very, like, the roots have tiny hairs on it, isn't it? Like, say this is the root of the plant.
Yeah.
So it has tiny hairs like this.
Yeah.
These are the tiny hairs, and we call them as root hairs. Okay.
Hmm.
So oxygen will be entering through the through these tiny hairs also. So why this also, oxygen will be entering, and that oxygen will be taken up by the plant to carry out respiration. Do you
Yes.
remember the structure of lenticels that were tiny
Lemon.
white colored openings that I showed you were present on the stems? Take a look
Um,
at this. Maybe you will be able
lenticel.
to recall it. See this structure, Halima?
Oh, okay. That one.
This one, no? In fact,
Yeah.
we did learned about this, right?
Yes.
So where are these present? These are present
On the stem.
on the stem. Getting it now?
Yeah.
Okay, so someone asks you like how the stems would be doing respiration. So they will be taking in oxygen via these small openings, and these openings
Lenticel.
are lenticels. Anyways,
Yeah.
so that was all about the plants now. But in the case of animals, it is kind of different and complex,
Yeah.
right? So what do we know about the animals? How the animals will be doing respiration? So
By
they
the nose.
exactly, like they have a complex mechanism.
They
Like in
yeah. They have lungs which helps them to like
breathe in oxygen and
yeah.
okay. So animals would be inhaling oxygen and carbon dioxide, and different animals would be having different mechanisms for breathing. The complex organism, like we humans who are mammals, we have lungs, right? Some of the simpler
Mm,
organisms like fishes, they have gills, right now.
yeah.
Earthworms, they can breathe through their skin.
Yes.
Getting it now? So in the case of the animals, so we know that complex organisms will breathe in oxygen and release carbon dioxide via lungs. Okay, na? In this, the examples will be the different kind of mammals.
Yeah.
Mammals, for example, we humans. Okay, na? Okay.
Sir, even monkeys also come.
Monkeys, all the mammals will be basically having a lungs in them. Okay, na? Further,
Yes.
we know that the simpler organisms have the following mechanisms. Following mechanism for breathing. In the case of fishes, what do they have? They have
Gills.
gills in them. In the case of like earthworms, they have
Skin.
their moist skin right now.
Hmm.
Okay. And in the case of the cockroaches,
They
how do
have
cockroaches breathe? They have
by the
tiny openings present on the side of their body. Remember,
yeah.
that is called as spiracles now. Getting it now?
Hmm.
So they have spiracles and they have trachea in them. Spiracles are the tiny openings present on the both the sides of their body. Grasshoppers also have the spiracles. Getting it now? In fact, most of the insect have spiracles. Getting it?
Yeah.
Write down this much, then I'll be will be continuing further. Okay. Meanwhile, let me take a look at some of other questions. Differentiate between kingdom Monera and Protista. Okay. Give example of kingdom fungi. You have done all other questions, Salima?
No, sir, I'm not done.
Okay. So you said that you are having doubt in only the first question, and in that one only you said.
1 minute, sir. I have a doubt in the
Hmm.
how does I'm done with my mention here.
Okay. Anyways, write down this.
Yeah.
Write down this first. We have to discuss about stimuli as well. Okay, no?
So the first one and then the second one. I'm having only those two doubts. That's
The first question and the second question.
yeah.
Okay, like differentiate between kingdom Monera and Protista. This one.
Yeah.
Okay, okay, ठीक है. First of all, write down this quickly.
Um. Mhm.
And how much marks does this question carry? Is there any such thing that?
So that's just only this division.
Oh, okay, okay. Talking about stimuli. Stimuli is basically any kind of change in the surrounding which will lead to some behavioral changes in the body of the organism or some physical changes in their body. Right now? So different one of the common characteristics of all the living organisms is that whether it be plants or animals or microbes, they will be responding to the stimuli in their environment, right?
Hmm.
Like they will respond to different components in the environment, like they will
Uh,
respond to light.
the stimuli like a plant, they have geotropism and
Hmm.
heterotropism.
Hydrotropism, you mean to say?
Yeah.
Okay. So there are different components in the environment, like temperature. If the temperature
Yeah.
changes, we humans also respond in some manner. If there
Yeah.
is brightness increases or decreases, pressure in the atmosphere increases, um, color of the surrounding changes. You might have seen the octopuses and the chameleon, how they will be responding. Huh? So there are different kind of things. Gravity is also there. Getting it, no?
Yeah.
First of all, write down this thing. Then we'll be continuing. Okay.
Sir,
Yeah.
simplest organism have the following. What is that after following?
Simpler organisms have the following mechanism for breathing. Okay, no? So fishes have gills, earthworms have moist skin. You can write down for the cockroaches also. Cockroaches have spiracles and trachea. Trachea. Okay.
Mm, Okay. Room have moist skin. Yeah, done.
Done? Okay, good.
Yeah.
So this trachea, these are the tube-like structures that are present inside their body. Okay, na? They are called as trachea or tracheal tubes. Okay. Okay. The next
Um,
part of the question was, no, we had to discuss about the stimuli as well. Okay.
yes.
So talking about the stimuli in context of plants and animals. So we'll know that one of the common characteristics of living organisms is that they respond to their changes in their
Stimulus.
surrounding. Basically, the stimuli in the surrounding, right?
Yeah.
That is one thing. Now, if you were to look at in the case of the plants, first of all, let me define what is a stimuli. You tell me what do you understand by stimuli?
Response to something.
Not respond to something. Stimuli could be some the changes in the environment, changes in our surrounding. That is what a stimuli is. Okay, no?
Yes.
Like something that will make you respond. Getting it? For example,
Like if we put our hand in the hot pan, we'll
hmm,
immediately remove.
exactly. So the heat here is a stimuli. The temperature is a
Yeah.
stimuli. Getting it? The temperature increases, we'll be responding to it in some manner. Okay. So it is a change in the environment. Stimuli is it is a change in the environment. Okay, now that brings that brings um that brings
So can I
a
say the
response.
definition of it?
Yeah, sure.
Sir, this stimuli is anything that can trigger a physical or behavior change.
Exactly. Very
Like
good.
an example of external stimuli is the body responding to a medicine,
Mm-hmm. Okay, no?
and internal stimuli is the vital sign changing due to the change in the body.
Very good. Very good. So it's basically a change in the environment that brings a response. Okay. For the as you have seen, there could be external as well as internal response. Right now,
Yeah.
that is one thing. Furthermore, the examples of stimuli as follows. Like it could be light,
Hmm.
sound, temperature, touch, gravity, water, okay, na, etc. So these are some of the,
So water can also be a stimuli.
yeah, in the case of the plants, we'll be learning about it. How the
Oh,
roots will be moving towards the water. Getting it now? That is one thing.
light,
What this? Repeat again.
sound. Yeah.
Mhm.
Not,
Okay, no? That is one thing. Further, like we have some other
hmm.
like smell also. We can count the smell also as
Yeah.
this. Getting it? So there's a long list of so many different type of stimuli. So we living organisms, we can sense and respond to changes in our environment. Okay, na?
Hmm.
That is one thing. So we can respond to our changes in the environment, whether it be change in the light, change in the sound, temperature, touch, gravity, water, or smell. If these things changes, then we'll be responding. So that is a stimuli. Further, we have the concept of response.
Yeah.
Okay, a response. So response basically like we would be responding to the stimuli, right now. For example, touch me not plant will be responding to the touch. Its leaves will be folding. It will be the plants would be responding to light, right now. That is one thing. Okay, now further in the case of the animals also, we see that we humans respond to light, to heat, to smell, etc. Okay, you will see that certain animals would be moving away from light, or they will be escaping their
Yeah.
predators, right now. That is one thing. So basically, movement to a stimuli is called a response. Movement to a response, movement to a stimuli is called response. Got this, no? Okay. Further, our question was, you have to explain the characteristics of living thing with respect to stimuli in the both plants and animals. Okay. Let's take the case in the plants. Should I change the slide? Are you writing it down?
No, sir, you can say it.
Yeah, sure. In the case of plants, let us understand how do they respond. So take for example, touch, light, gravity, and water. These are the
And water.
stimuli to which the plants will be responding. Right?
Yeah.
Okay.
So
So
touch is like the touch me not plant and Venus flytrap.
exactly. So
So
stimuli in the plants.
if we touch some like a Venus flytrap, it will
Hmm.
automatically close itself.
Exactly. By the way, we have the sunlight also in this. Okay, now sunlight will
Yeah.
also be counted in this. Okay, now that is something. So take for example, exactly. Okay, now not geotropism. That's a different thing. By the way, geotropism is talks about the gravity. Okay.
Yeah.
Talking about the touch. So plants will be responding touch. Okay, now plants like touch me not plant, touch me not plant responds to touch. Okay, responds to touch. Okay, that is one thing. We have the example of this. Okay. Further, we see that we have the concept of tropism also. Remember, we did learn about different type of tropism like phototropism, geotropism, hydrotropism. Remember?
Yeah.
So talking about the light, so plants respond to light. Basically, light in this now we shouldn't be including the sunlight. Basically, it is understood when we are talking about light, we are referring to the sunlight here. Okay, na?
Yes, sir.
Hmm. So the response to the light, that is called as phototropism. What do we call this? Phototropism.
Phototrop.
Photo here na Halima refers to light. What does the photo refer to? Light.
Light.
And let me tell you what does the tropism basically refers. So tropism would be like when the plants will be moving their body parts, their roots or leaves or their stem would be moving away or moving towards some stimuli. That is called as tropism. That is called as tropism. Like in the case of the phototropisms, the plant's shoot system will be moving towards the sunlight. In the case of hydrotropism, what you will learn that the roots of the plants will move towards the water where the water is available. Okay. And in the case of
will move towards the water, and
Hmm.
geotropism is move towards the gravity.
Right now the body parts of the plant will be moving towards in the direction of the gravity. Okay. So in the case of phototropism, we see that the parts, by the way, I was talking about tropism, where I said that the different parts of the body will be moving. Different parts of the plant's body, whether it be root system, whether it be shoot system, will be moving towards the stimuli. In the case of phototropism, the parts of shoot system, you understand what is the shoot system?
Yeah.
Basically, the leaf, stem, etc., will move towards light source wherever the source of light is available. That is the case. In the case of geotropism, what we see that the plants will be responding to the gravity, and that makes their root to go down in the ground. Have you ever seen that roots of the plants are moving against the gravity? They grow in the upward direction. No.
Yeah, I have
In
seen one plant.
in which one?
One tree.
Yeah.
I forgot the name.
Okay, if you can recall, do let me know. Okay, now if you recall it. So in this we see that the roots of plants grows, it will be growing to the gravity. Okay, no? So the roots of plants grows down in the ground as a response to gravity. In the case of water, we have the hydrotropism. So plants will be responding to the water, and it will make them to move towards the water. Okay, no? So plants roots moves towards water. In fact, there's a very interesting activity which you can do. You can simply take a transparent bottle, cut it like this. Okay, now take a transparent bottle like this. Okay, and in this plant, sow some seeds. Okay, now let us say you have sown some seeds. Okay, let's say you have sown the gram seed, and let's say you have provided water over here. Getting it? So what you will see that when this plant will be growing now, the roots of this plant will go towards this direction. Getting it, Halima? The roots are
Yes.
showing hydrotropism. That is the case. Okay, now hope this much should be clear to you.
So there are two types of geotropism, right?
Positive and negative geotropism.
Yeah, positive and negative.
Yeah. So usually we see that the positive geotropism is there.
Goes,
the-
yeah.
Hmm.
Positive geotropism goes to the sunlight, and negative geotropism goes through the gravity.
Exactly. Basically, the roots, the shoot system of the plant, they are growing against the gravity. They are going in the upward direction. So the shoot system of the plant, they are showing negative geotropism now. So that is the case of positive and negative geotropism in plants. That we see that the roots are showing a positive geotropism, like they are moving into the ground now. Where does the gravity act? It acts in the downward direction now. Okay, so roots are following the course of gravity. They are following the direction of gravity. But we see that the upper part of the plant, basically the shoot system, right? The stem, leaves, their branches, they are growing against the gravity. They are going against the gravity. They are going in the upward direction. So that is the thing. Okay, now hope this should be clear to you. Then third was about the movement, right?
Yeah.
Okay, first of all, write down this much. Then we're going to
Sir, I'm
continue. Okay, now? Okay. So talking about movement, so what do we know about the plant? I mean to say animals. So animals are free to move from one place to another. They can move
Yeah.
from one place to another, right? But in the case of the plants, they are limited. The movement in them is limited, right now. So they will be showing movement in response to the environmental stimuli around them, like light, like gravity, like water, and they will be showing this in a specific direction. Getting my
Yeah.
point? To say that this is a plant over here, so it will be showing movement towards the sunlight. Wherever the sunlight is, it
Yeah.
is going to move in that direction. Wherever the water is available, it will be moving in that direction.
Move in that direction.
So the roots will move towards it. Getting
Yeah.
it now? Further, we see that it is showing the movement in the upward direction and the downward direction. Like the
Yeah.
stem is increasing in the height, so thereby the height of the overall plant is growing. The roots also
Hmm.
become deeper and deeper. They also grow
Deeper
deeper.
and deeper.
So
Yeah.
upward and downward
In
direction is there.
search of water and nutrients.
Exactly. Further, the girth of the plant also increases. Like the stem of the width of the stem is increasing.
Yeah.
Right. The branches are spreading out, so they are
Yeah.
doing sideways movement also. Right now, sideways movement also. Getting it?
Yeah.
But are they changing their position? Are they moving from
No.
here to here? Are they walking? Obviously, no.
No,
The
they're not.
plants show a limited movement. Getting it now? That is something. Like they don't have some special mechanism for locomotion, for moving from one place to another. Although they can show movement in response to light, to water, and to gravity, etc. Got this, no? That is one thing. But in the case of the animals, what we know that animals possess special structures.
Animals are free to move from one place to another.
Like they have wings, they have legs, they have fins that allow them to move actively in the environment in which they are living. Okay, na? So whenever they wish, they can choose to move in any given direction, to any given place they can move whenever they choose. Okay, na? So that is the case of the movement. So you can write down one important line in this that the movement in plants is limited. Okay, na?
Yeah.
They only grow in size. Okay, na? That is one thing. Further, they show movement in response to
To
stimuli,
stimulate
and the stimuli could be light, water,
water.
touch, or gravity. Got this, Salima?
Yeah.
Okay, but in the case of animals, they possess, first of all, write down that they possess specialized structures. They possess specialized structures, like they have legs, wings, uh, fins in the case of fishes. Right now,
Sir,
yes.
for response, we did not wrote about animal
For movement, you are saying, or for response?
response.
Okay, for the stimuli, no? Oh yeah, thanks
Yeah,
for
yeah,
pointing that down. Huh. So basically, in the case of animals, how do we respond? So in the case of the animals, we'd be responding. Take for example, take the case of the touch, right now, or just take the case of the temperature. So if we touch
yeah.
something really hot, we remove our hand from that, right? That is one thing. So the response to stimuli in the case of animal is generic. Okay. In the case of animal, it is not that complex. Like for example, take the consider the example of the humans, for example. So in the case of humans, for example, if you are going somewhere and it's a sunny day, it's a sunny
Yeah.
day. So you will see that your pupils will uh, it will shrink.
Hmm?
You will see that your pupils in the eye will shrink. Getting what I'm
Yeah.
trying to say? You understand what is the pupil?
Uh,
What is the pupil?
yes, sir. Sir, there was one activity like ma'am
Mm-hmm.
told us to keep the
Mm-hmm.
torchlight in front of our eyes and then look at the mirror, and then when I just checked in the
Mm-hmm.
eyeball, like something was like shrinking.
Yeah. Let me just explain that. You see, when we look at the eye, we have this structure like this. Okay.
Yeah.
You see, this is structure. This is called as pupil. What do we call this? This is called as pupil. Okay, now. And what is this
Pupil.
whole structure? This is structure like
Eye.
this that you will see. Iris. Very good. So that is called as iris. Okay. Now see, if someone were to project a torch in front of the eye, someone were to flash a torch in front of the eye, what we'll see that
Yeah.
the size of this will constrict. It will become smaller. Getting it, Harima?
Yeah.
Getting it becomes smaller. So what happens here? Now, the pupil is the gateway through which the light enters into our eyes. Okay, na. So
Hmm.
our eye is exposed to intense light. Okay, na, our pupil will get smaller. So it will not. So it will reduce the amount of light that is entering into the eye. Right. Okay,
Hmm.
but if you were to enter into a dark room, then the pupil size will increase. Getting it now? If it's a dark room, then what happens? The size of the pupil is going to increase so that it will allow it will allow maximum light to enter into your eyes and you can see the surrounding. Okay, so you can do
Hmm.
this activity also. Just enter into a dim room where there's no light, and if you were to look your eye into the mirror somehow, just switch on the bulb and quickly look at the size of the pupil. You will see that from bigger it will start to become smaller. So while you have not turned on the light, it was actually bigger, but when you turn on the light, it actually becomes shorter. Got this now?
Yeah.
So that is one of the response here. Okay, so in the case of animals, you can continue from there. So we know about how we respond to light. So in bright light, pupil becomes shorter. Pupil becomes shorter. Okay, na? So because if
Yeah.
too much of light were to enter into our eyes will be damaged. Okay, na? So it becomes shorter to avoid too much
Um. Too much of light entering in our eyes.
Entering to the eye. Very good. That is how we respond to the light. Then we have temperature. So like if you are feeling very hot or if you are feeling very cold, say if you are feeling very cold, so we will be required to wear some woolen cloth, some jacket,
Yeah.
right now, or our body might start to shiver. And what does the shivering do? Shivering warms up the body. That's why the body
Yeah.
starts to shiver. Okay, no? So that is one thing. Okay, so we have to wear
Sir, after shorter, what is the word?
to avoid too much of light entering to the eye. Okay, no?
Yeah.
Okay, and in the case of like if we happen to touch something hot, then we have to our nervous system would be guiding us to remove our hand from there. Okay, that is one thing.
Yeah.
Like if you were to touch something very hot, you will be automatically taking your hand away from that object, withdrawing your hand. Okay. Take the case of the food. Food also acts as a stimuli. So if you like, if someone were to take the name of your delicious of a delicious food, right? What do you like eating most?
Ice cream.
Ice cream. So suppose you are very hungry, and someone in front of you is eating ice cream. So you might see that your mouth will water up. The mouth starts to
Yeah.
water. Okay, na? So basically, there are some glands present in our mouth called a salivary gland that secretes saliva. Getting it now? So that is the case. So when we see
When
delicious food, then our mouth waters with saliva. With saliva. Okay, that is one thing.
yes.
Getting it? That is one thing. Further, like there are some other stimuli in which how our body will be reacting to it. For example, if we were to do some intense workout, so our breathing increases, our breathing rate increases so that we can take in more oxygen. Getting it now?
Sir, even if we run a lot, then our breathing will increase.
Exactly. Okay, na? So if you were to do some intense workout, now while doing some intense workout, our body is in need of energy. What does the body
Yeah.
require? It requires energy.
And
And how do we get energy? By breaking down
eating food,
by eating food, of course, by eating food. But that food is broken down with the help of oxygen. Now, the food that you're
oxygen.
eating. So to fasten up the process of breakdown of the food, more oxygen is required so
Yeah.
that we can get more energy to walk faster or to run faster or to do a particular physical activity. That is one
Mm.
thing. Okay, now. Okay. Further, for example, if you are hearing some noise, okay, na? So you will be
Yeah.
turning your head in that direction from where the noise is coming. So the stimuli here is noise, and the response is that you turning your head towards that noise. If the
Yeah.
noise is too much, you will be turning your head away from that noise. Okay, na?
Yeah.
So that is one thing. Okay, or like if you happen to pass to a street where some garbages are throwing and it is stinging, so you'll be closing your nose,
Moving away.
basically closing your nose and moving away from that place. Okay, no?
Yeah.
So stimuli here is the garbage, and the
Garbage.
response is that you closing your nose or moving away from that place. Okay, no? So that
Yeah.
is one thing. Okay, no? So we can
Sir, I'm
add
done that.
many more examples. Done.
Yeah.
Good. In this, you can go on to write few more stimuli. Okay, no, Halima. You can add it to yourself. Like you can add in this, you can add the bad smell. Okay,
Yeah.
etc. Okay, so we have completed the first question. Like in this, we were moments ago we were learning about the movement. Okay, so in
Yes, sir.
movement we learned about how the plants will be doing movement. Okay, na? But
Sir,
in the
I'm not
case,
done with this.
okay, continue from here.
Mm. Sir, in the plants, in the animals, what is that written?
They possess POSSESS. They possess specialized structures like legs, wings, fins, etc. Okay. Further, we have like a voluntary control on our body parts, on certain body parts. Like we can choose to do movement whenever we wish. But can the plants do so? Like even if they are increasing in height, but can they control it? Like can they abruptly increase their height too much, or can they become shorter sometime? No. So in the case of the humans, no, in the case of animals, they have the control, they have the voluntary control. They can control their movement whenever they wish. They can move in any given particular direction, or however way they wish. Okay.
Sir, even we cannot control our length.
We can also not control our height in that manner. Okay, no?
Yeah,
Exactly.
but we can control the movement wherever we want to go.
Exactly, that is the case. Okay, no? Okay.
Like legs.
Hmm. Wherever we wish
Uh,
to go, we can.
yeah. Sir, after in the animals, after legs, what is that written?
Wings, 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 fins that are in the fishes, and then you have etc.
Yeah, then sir.
Okay. What about the next question? You tell me. In the we have this question as well. That is difference between kingdom monitor and protist. Are you done with that? Yes.
Differentiate.
Yes. You're done with the question. Difference between kingdom monitor and protester.
I have to check, sir. Can I check?
Yeah, sure. Check it. By the way, I had taken some questions for you today. These are very simple questions. But first of all, tell me whether you're done with that or not. Yes, Halima.
Sir, I'm not done with it.
Okay, okay. Okay, so let us discuss that. Okay. By the way, before we discuss that, do tell me, have you learned about the types of cells like prokaryotic and eukaryotic cells?
Cells. No, sir.
Not yet. Okay, okay. Just 1 minute. So it is important, first of all, you become familiar with these things. Okay. Let me just tell you, like, different organisms that we see, they have two types of cells. Organisms में दो तरह के cells पाए जाते हैं. Getting it, Halima?
Yeah.
One is the prokaryote, another one is the eukaryote. So now imagine the organisms that were living on Earth about billions of years. Okay, now like the bacteria and that are living today also. So their cells are very simple. They are not very well organized. You just tell me which one
Yeah.
of them looks more organized, this one or this one?
Second one.
Second one looks more organized now. So
Yeah.
prokaryotes are the cells that are found in the organisms that are not well organized, like the cells are not organized. Plus we know that in the middle of the cell there is a nucleus. Inside the
Oh,
cells we have a nucleus. You say that is also called as the little brain. It's called as the brain
yeah.
of the cell. So nucleus is present in the prokaryotes, but are they organized the way how this
No,
one is organized? No.
that is not organized.
Okay. So the cell
Sir,
is
and
structure.
sir, prokaryotes, they
Mhm.
are only like what do you call that? They only live for few times, like,
Yeah, their
just for
lifespan is Mhm. their lifespan is also very short. Okay, now
yeah,
plus the main thing about them is that they lack a proper nucleus. They lack a proper
lack
nucleus.
of proper nucleus.
Okay, but about the eukaryotes, that they have
Have
a well
a
structured
nucleus.
nucleus. Got this now? Okay, ये
Yeah,
fundamental concept है. Okay, ना? That is one thing. Now let us talking about the Monera and the Protista. See, the main difference between the Monera and the Protista is now that like the organisms that belong to the kingdom Monera, they are made up of one cell plus they are prokaryotic. What are the Monera?
yeah. They are
Monera,
only made of one cell and they are prokaryotes.
one celled, meaning the complete organism is just made up of one cell. Another thing about
Hmm.
them is that they are
They are
prokaryotes,
prokaryotes.
which means कि इनके nucleus proper नहीं है. That they don't possess a proper well developed nucleus in them. Okay,
Yeah,
but when we talk about the protista, so protista are having a eukaryotic cell. Getting it now? So protista,
yeah.
they are also one cell. They also have one cell,
But
but the thing is that
they are eukaryotes.
they are eukaryotes. And what does eukaryote mean?
Sir,
That they possess a well-structured nucleus. Yes.
yes. Sir, for Monera, they are also called as bacteria, right?
Example of Monera is bacteria.
Yeah.
One example is bacteria. Okay, na? And for